Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Renee Quevedo here from NFM headquarters with your pod pal and mine, Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Renee.
I'm Becca. And Hilary Woltzmath.
Hey.
She's our visual display general manager. And today we're talking to the Bakers again. Scott and Sara, welcome in.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Happy to have you. Because today we're talking holiday hosting. Just in time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Scott is NFM's store director, and he's brought his wife, Sara. As you know, they are the DIY dream team. And they're going to tell us how to host a party correctly because they do it all the time. So as I remember, our new guest hosts are NFMers with life passions and home life experts that will call on time to time to answer yours, and in this case, our questions today. But before we get to that, we'd love to tell you why we're doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. Awesome. So, Scott, we just got the tour of your house. We're following that episode up. And while we were on that tour, you mentioned pitching this idea to us because you were giving us a little foray. I don't even know if that's how you say that word.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. on how you guys host in your space. So we thought this was a great time to bring this topic to light. And we just want to know where that passion comes from hosting to start us off.
You know, we built the house to entertain. You've been there, it's one big giant room, but we like to bring the people we care about into our house and come in and let us take care of you. And it's sort of the way that, we take care of people. We're not people who will buy you an extravagant gift or that kind of thing, but we will bring you into our house and take really good care of you for an evening. We just really like to do that.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I was behind the scenes filming, and I mentioned how I liked one of your thrifted paintings or prints, and you guys just were like, hey, we're not using it. Take it home with you. So I walked out of there with a free print.
A souvenir.
Yeah, and I got it hanging in my kitchen now.
I know. I saw the picture.
Oh, good. Great. Thank you. Yeah, I was very proud of that. And my husband came home. He's like, who's the black cat from? And I was like, well, the store director.
That's right. Got it for free.
This is going up in our main room of our house.
Got it for a crazy bargain of the price of free.
Yeah, thrifting.
That was great. Now, Sara, I think the last time we were together, you briefly talked about how you and Scott have rules for hosting. Can you remind us what those are? I think you had like 3 things that you always have when you host.
Well, I don't know that they're really rules, but number one is you've really got to set the mood. So I almost have all my lights on dimmer switches now. Just a few more. He's holding out.
I
think that means you might have a few more to do.
I try to do 1 or 2 at a time. That way I always have bargaining chips to get to do other stuff I want to.
There you go.
So you can't do it all at once.
Yeah.
So you have to set the mood. So lighting's really important. We always have music.
Yeah.
Music Hipster Cocktail Party Radio. Our favorite.
Okay.
I'm sure that comes as no surprise.
Is that like a Spotify playlist?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What was it again?
It's Hipster Cocktail Party Radio.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all hipster stuff. A lot of it I've never heard. And we also listen to, on occasion, French Cafe.
Oh.
And it's all music in French. It makes us seem very fancy.
Yeah.
But it's fun to listen to because it's a little different.
Yeah.
And then lo-fi beats.
Oh, I do
Okay.
love some lo-fi.
Yep.
music.
So
That's my work jamming.
Yeah.
Section. It's like the background of my work. But yeah, I love that for a party.
but sort of a little music in the background. And sometimes we'll go somewhere, whether it's for a cocktail bar or someone's house, and there's no music.
Yeah, it's super weird
It is
to
weird.
not have that background noise.
Yeah, I mean, put some music on. And so that's
Release some of that tension.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, it's like
awkward
the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Screaming.
We never
golden.
really fuss about food. Or,
Yeah.
Whatever we're putting out, it's usually, we make it nice, but we don't put that much energy in it. So
I love that. So set the mood, just kind of whatever you're feeling for the food. And then the third one, I think, was you guys like to have a drink.
Oh, signature
Yes.
drink, right?
so we have signature drinks, and we like to have an activity.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
So signature drinks at our house, there's always a signature drink. Now, we love bourbon. We love to make old fashions. So we'll normally, if we're having people, we'll say we're making this, this, and this. not like open bar to make 50 different things because
Right.
it
That
takes
requires
away.
so much stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't spend time with
Yeah.
your people because you're over there
Googling
fiddling with
recipes.
Yeah.
50 bottles or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we usually make one or two, but we're kind of specialist at old fashioned, and we make one out of regular simple syrup, which is sort of a standard that you would
Mhm.
get. And then we make our own Demonera simple syrup, and
Oh.
it's kind of a spicy sugar. And
Yum.
then you can use not pancake syrup, but real maple syrup
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
a little dash of that. And it makes a really good cocktail. And we make
Fall
those.
flair to it.
Yeah. And I tried 2 weeks ago to make a pumpkin pie old fashioned.
Uh-huh.
How'd that
And,
go?
Yeah.
Fail?
and, you
I didn't
know,
taste it.
The color alone
The
was
pumpkin
atrocious.
puree was. I was just like,
It's floating too
it didn't go
quickly.
that good.
Yeah.
But you got to try.
Yeah.
You have to.
Experiment. Yeah.
Because
You
you
never
might
know
have
what you
really
might come
nailed
up with.
something there.
Right.
Yeah.
If you had it, you might have really.
Well,
nailed
I saw it in a magazine and I did it just like they said. But
Right.
Oh.
Maybe they did test that
Maybe it
recipe.
looks prettier than it tasted.
yeah, the simple syrup you usually take out of the fridge and make a drink. And this
Mhm.
stuff here, it had some sludge floating in the
Uh-huh.
bottom. I
Yeah.
Didn't really
Yeah,
dissolve.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a
Yikes.
good idea. I remember having people over and I was like bouncing between like espresso martinis and margaritas. And I was like, I can't even use the same cutting board
Yeah.
for this. Like,
Yeah, that's a
this
really
is-
good point.
Yeah,
It's
so
so difficult to like try and make both of those. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you think that most people are open to an old fashioned? Is that why you guys kind of like, or is that just like your guys' couple drink?
Yeah, that's what we like.
Okay.
but surprisingly, a lot of people,
People do.
Yeah.
like
I
old
think
fashions.
I do think a lot of people like old fashioned.
I think that's how you could get me to drink bourbon for sure.
Right.
Otherwise,
Me
I'd be
too.
like, "Ooh, that's a little steep for me." I think.
We
That's
went to
like-
an event last night and they had some fancy bourbon and you could taste it. And
Uh-huh.
it was like 130 proof. And
Aye.
it was fine. It was
So
good, but
moonshine.
man, was it
Diesel
strong. It was
fuel.
darn near
Yeah.
moonshine.
Yeah.
but it
It's
tasted
terrifying.
it tasted better than moonshine. Not that I've ever had moonshine.
Right. Right. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so we are talking holiday hosting. So I'm a little curious. I know you guys kind of have that minimalistic vibe going on. Is there some way you guys bring like holiday decor into the home, or do you guys kind of opt for something else to make it more holiday?
We were talking about this when we were thinking about DIY projects. So we bring the windmill in from the backyard, and that's our Christmas tree every
fun.
year.
That's cute.
Fun.
And we have 13-foot ceilings, and I don't know. I think it was just out of necessity. We didn't want to lug a tree up to the
Mhm.
apartments. We're like, well, let's wrap it in greenery, and we put ornaments and lights on it. And,
And it
it
looks
looked
good?
amazing. Here, I have a picture.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So the
I'll do my
windmill
best
was
to
in my
describe
grandfather's
it.
backyard.
Okay.
for,
Oh, okay. So
for-
it's
for-
also like a family heirloom too.
Yeah, it was back there for 50 years.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so we
Not what I expected, but I
No.
love that.
That's really cute.
So
Yeah.
listener, it's fully wrapped. You
Yeah.
can't
It
really even
looks
see the
mostly
legs.
like
There's
a
no-
tree.
Yeah, and yeah, you've got all the gold
It's like they
lights and
took
ornaments.
the top of a windmill and made it a tree topper.
Yeah, and they wrapped it all in
Uh-huh.
lights. Does it turn still? So if you
No.
or no? Okay.
it would turn, but we wrapped some lights
Right.
around
Yeah,
it.
so
Right.
that's a hazard.
So from the
probably.
outside, when you look in, the front of the house is mostly glass. It is
Uh-huh.
clearly a windmill wrapped up in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
such a good idea.
When we're done with it, back
Just
out to the
outside.
yard.
So
Uh-huh.
resourceful. I
Mhm.
think that is another
So-
good term we could use to describe
Yeah.
you guys.
Storing a Christmas tree and like dragging it out, like that's the like
It's
almost deters me from doing it every year.
Yeah, and putting the thing together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just drag the
Yeah.
windmill in
Yeah,
from the
you probably
yard.
get
and-
enough of that here.
Yeah.
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 I saw we have some Christmas trees out.
Yep.
yes.
'Tis
Oh,
the
already.
Yep.
season. Yep.
Holiday hop.
October
get to it.
1.
Yep.
Okay, so if Christmas tree is probably the main kind of decor you guys are doing, is there any other tips you guys have for making it feel maybe a little more like warm and cozy? Are you adding throws or specific pillows, or you keep it all?
I really don't. You know, some people, you go in and it just feels like Christmas kind of threw up all over
Uh-huh.
the house.
My
So
mother's house.
I just,
In a good way.
Oh,
Hopefully
yeah.
she's not listening.
Love you, Mom. It's cute, right?
You're not getting
She
a
loves
gift
it.
of this year.
Yeah. you know, I really
That's a
don't
compliment.
overdo it. I kind of keep it simple, and I keep it all kind of in one, just the main room. You know, some
Yeah.
people make
Yeah.
trees in the bathroom and towels.
yeah.
and no, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's a
So,
lot to store too.
It is. It
Mhm.
is.
So
Yeah.
we have a big picture. We don't have it up any longer, but we used to have it in the living room and it had these 3 big dogs on it. It was like 4 feet by 7 feet. And it's always up. But if you flip it around backwards, it's got brown letters on it that says ho, ho, ho.
Oh,
So-
cute.
No, it says Mary.
Is that what
Because
it's?
I totally ripped it off a Pottery Barn. Did
Oh,
I say
yeah.
that?
I saw that.
And I went to
Yeah.
That's
Hobby
so
Lobby
smart.
and just bought
use
those
the
cardboard
background.
letters
Uh-huh.
and we painted a square. And I totally copied it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
pretty
Borrowing
that's actually
ideas
a
is
really
what
good
we're
idea,
about
though.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to store it.
Right. And like you don't no more like no new holes, like it's got a home, like
right.
everything.
That might be like the number one hack so far
Seriously.
today.
Yeah.
That's,
I
that's a
mean,
good tip.
It was $275 in the catalog.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can
it's
do that.
here.
We have
Yeah,
some like
for something
smaller
I could
scale
do.
ones available that like one side's like Thanksgiving, the other side's Christmas or like Halloween and fall, which
Like,
is like
That's
Who
such
thinks
a
that's
genius
so
idea,
smart?
though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That is great.
I mean, how else do you keep up when everyone's like, well, I'm going minimal for
Right.
this year. I don't want to store anything. if
Flip the
that's
sign around.
Yeah.
So we flipped the sign around, put the windmill inside, and
Uh-huh.
That's it.
you know what? We did a little bit of decorating over the fireplace, but I mean, and then some decorating outside, and then we put lights on top of the house. Our house is like a flat roof, and it's
Mhm,
kind of
yeah.
sawtooth,
Mhm.
and we run lights up there, and we actually had plugs put in up there.
Oh, smart.
When you
we-
were building it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Smart.
really good
That's
idea.
really
Yeah, and it's got a timer, so they go on at night.
Yeah.
They go off, and you have to mess with it.
Amazing.
That sounds so nice.
That's awesome.
So, tip: if you're building a house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
have
Build
the builder
Really good
put
idea.
some plugs up on the eaves.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Clever.
Okay, so a lot of holidays happens at the table. Do you guys have any advice, tips, tricks about making the table scapes look all nice?
We have a big island, and I specifically didn't put a sink in it or anything, just to use it. I love this grazing station idea.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
and that's almost all we ever do is just set out a bunch of
Yeah.
different, whatever you're eating, and I kind of do different levels, and that's kind of it. And I mean, that's just kind of like the centerpiece.
Mhm.
I
is the
love
food.
it.
But it works really great, and people love just to be able to kind of go and
Pick and
help
choose.
themselves.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so
It's my ideal dinner. Just
Yeah.
snacky stuff.
That's
that
what
you
they
just, like,
call girl dinner.
girl dinner.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's like whatever you can
What?
find.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, girl
Uh-huh.
dinner. There's girl math, girl dinner. We'll catch
Yep.
you up after this episode.
So the man dinner is standing in front of the refrigerator eating right out of
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Meat and
Uh,
potatoes.
We're gonna-
Wait,
Uh-huh.
you heard it here first. Scott has coined man dinner.
Yes.
I
Um,
love that.
no, standing there eating a cold hot dog, drinking a beer.
Yeah.
You're like, this is delicious.
Uh-huh.
This is dinner,
Yeah, protein.
but it's fine. And we also we host with another group of four other couples a supper club.
Oh, fun.
So we tour each other's houses. We've had it at our house several times, and so everybody brings something, and it's usually a theme. And in this group, it's the fellas who do the cooking. So we have
highly
Oh.
recommend that.
Couple
Yeah.
and we have pre-meetings at local tavern to discuss what we're going to cook.
Okay,
couple
yeah,
of-
that's one of my
Those are
questions. How does
necessary.
the meal prep go for these
And-
events?
And then we everybody brings something, and one of the guys is professional chef, and I don't know whether that's a lot of pressure because you're trying to match his, or no pressure because you never
Right.
are, so you
You'll
don't
be
have to try that
saved.
hard.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we tour around each other's house and we have food, and it's not normally it's not about the food to us.
Yeah.
It's like getting together
Mhm.
and having our camaraderie and fun and telling stories. So we
Yeah.
do that every couple of months or so. We were with them last night on another event, but it's really a fun way to do it. And if we're having our family or other friends over, we kind of serve a family style normally.
Mm-hmm.
We have this big white tray, and you put all the food in there in a fancy way, and it looks really nice, and you bring it out. And
Yeah.
so, and it's easy. Everybody gets a spoon. You take off there what you want, and it's kind of an easy way to do it and a fun way to do it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself having to plan like your grazing areas for the incoming food that's coming from the friends, or do you just like have a set other sidebar for there?
Half the time they start with a plan, and that's not what shows up at the table. Like last time we were supposed
Here
to
we go.
It was
Real
supposed to be
talk.
bring your best appetizer. And so you just can't. You just do what you want to do, and they're going to bring what they want. and
Yeah.
it's fine. So no, there's
It was our best appetizer that
and no one brought one.
is from your ethnic background.
Okay.
Okay.
So
that.
we had all kinds of different food, and it wasn't exactly appetizers, and didn't turn out, but the food was good and we had a
Yeah.
really good
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
that's what matters.
And we had a good time planning for it. And then somehow the plan fell apart, but we still all ate
Yeah.
and had a good time. So
No one left
It was-
hungry.
it was
No.
fun.
It was a
You're not-
success.
Never.
You're never,
Never.
leaving hungry. The chefs, they bring enough food
Yeah.
for army.
I believe
No.
it.
I love that. So at what point does like the activity take effect? Like when do you usually let them eat first, then kind of bring in the activity, or how do
Well,
we?
at our last one, we had a friend of ours come who's a priest, and he blessed the house for us. And
Nice.
he's very into Native American spirituality, has a real connection to that. He played this flute, he did the sage, and
Oh,
it
cool.
was a really, we had no idea what to expect, but that really ended up being a great thing to share with this group.
That's so
It was
cool.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
But I'd never had my house blessed, but this is the first one I've ever built, so it
Yeah.
kind of seemed cool. So that was really cool.
That is
a
cool.
new thing for probably most of your guests, right?
Yeah.
Right? They were all just kind of looking at me, and I'm like,
Yeah, and we weren't
Yeah, fun.
expecting the burning of
The sage.
sage and
Right.
Yeah.
and it was really
every
cool.
room, and it was fun. And and these are our friends. I mean, that's who we would want to share that
Yeah.
kind of thing with. And then when we were done with that, we bust into the Pandora and turn it up a little bit, or the Spotify and turn
Mhm.
it up a little bit, and we play a game with that. And
Okay, this is a really fun game. We played this with our younger. We have neighbors that will come over, and they're mostly in their 30s or whatever. So we'll go around the group after a drink or two, and everyone gets to pick their personal anthem and play it for the group.
Oh.
And we have had so much fun with that. And then they'll get up and dance, and
Okay.
it tells you a lot about people,
like
like
that.
what their
That's a fun
personal
idea.
anthem
Yeah.
is, and
Uh-huh.
you'll go, "Oh, okay, I didn't see that coming."
songs you
Yeah.
didn't expect from
Yeah.
some people,
Yeah.
like really older songs. And the lady lives across the street. She's in her early 20s, but she had picked quite a bit of an older song. And so you kind of go around, okay, what was your high school song? And everybody's just choosing. You just pass a tablet or a phone
Uh-huh.
around and turn it up, and there's all this music playing, and it always turns into dance party in the house, and there's all these
Mhm.
people dancing, and it's just
I was
really
wondering
good
if it
time.
usually led to dancing. I can totally see
Yes,
that
it
happening.
has.
it does, yes.
That's awesome. Are there any other fun things you guys do in terms of games besides music, or does it typically?
You can do a wine tasting. You do the wine tasting depending on your budget. $5 bottle, $10 bottle, $20 bottle, and it's all blind tasting. So let's
Love
drink
that.
wine. And if you know a little bit about wine, and I know a little bit, just enough, tell them about the wine. Here's what you should be tasting. Smell it and taste it, and you kind of, all the fiddling that goes about with it. And then everybody picks what they liked, and then you get to find out whether you have the $20 palette or do you have the $8 palette or
Right.
whatever it is. And sometimes people are surprised, and you can spend a bit of time doing that. And you can do the same thing with beer. Go buy the sampler pack, the little 6-pack.
Yeah. They always
And-
usually do like a holiday variety
Mhm.
pack from
Right.
a brewery or something like that.
The Hy-Vee over on Cass has a 24-pack
Mm.
with 24 different beers in
Oh,
it.
cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, I'm thrifty. I wait till after Christmas and I get
Then
it
you
for
buy
half
that.
price.
There
you go.
It's half. It's
Yeah.
literally half
Costco
price.
did a advent calendar of
Uh-huh.
wine last year.
Yeah.
And that was really good.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah. Right?
that's
Yeah.
fun.
That's a great idea.
Okay, we do have to start wrapping things up. So I have one last question in terms of holiday and just hosting in general. Who's the better DJ between you two?
Absolutely you.
Yeah. I built the 30-hour playlist of all the things that, we play these random things and we go, oh, I forgot about that song. I love it. And,
Uh-huh.
I save it and, I dig through. And so I try to be the DJ and do all the dirty work of digging through, Spotify for
Yeah.
hours at a time.
Adding to playlist, adding to playlist.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fun.
That's good. I'm the better dancer. so.
Well, hey, that makes
Oh,
for a great
excuse
team.
Everyone
me.
has their strengths.
Yeah.
Excuse- I'm not sure about that.
Okay, well, we don't want to
Yeah.
cause any arguments while we're on the
Jeez.
way out the door here. But I do want to thank you guys for coming in and sharing your holiday hosting tips with us today. I've got a few hacks for myself now with that
Mhm.
flipping side of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe something will come of that black cat now that after spooky season.
There you
Flip
go.
it around for the holiday. Got myself thinking now. Okay, I want to thank Becca, Hilary, the Bakers, and of course our producer Scott, as he's taken over both boards today alone. And thanks to everyone who's listening. Remember to like, rate, and subscribe to our I Am Home podcast wherever you listen. And for more about us, head over to nfm.com where you can shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. Till then, remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Woltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.